We saw the storm clouds coming in. We didn't realize the severity of it, but we went in the house and we were going to quick leave again on the four-wheeler. We jumped on the four-wheeler and the lightning struck real close and told her, I said, we got to get inside. This is too dangerous.
Storms continue to rage across parts of the U.S., and we're talking all the way from yesterday, overnight. Tonight we still had severe thunderstorms, this morning, and now we head through the afternoon.
And you saw what it did to that grain bin, and he was actually explaining in that interview that it wasn't full at the time, so it's a little more vulnerable, toppled that right on over.
Yeah, so hard to withstand some of those gusty winds that we're dealing with these severe thunderstorms. We have a chance for more severe weather, and we're talking pushing into Illinois, Indiana, back into Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin. This is a big area.
It's a big area, and even the marginal risk really extends quite a bit further than that. And even with that marginal risk, we could still see some severe thunderstorms.
All right, and we have our field correspondents in place ready to intercept some of these storms. And we've got our own meteorologist, Tim Jones. And Tim, can you tell us where you are and what's going on?
Right here at the damage of the grain bin here. And when I talked to, when the folks at home saw me an hour ago, that's a better way to say it, when we were showing what happened to that semi, well, I'm right across the street. This is part of that area where we had wind damage. Monica, Mike, check this out. Here's that empty grain bin right behind me. You can see here that it was just toppled over. So behind the grain bin, we have a bean field looking, this is looking off to the west. So obviously the winds were from the west, northwest, as they came right into this grain bin. As Mike said a moment ago, it was empty. So not quite as big of a deal. And the folks here say it's no big deal because it can be replaced. One thing that's kind of a, thank goodness it wasn't closer to the house. Check this out. There's the top of the grain bin right here. And Mike, Monica, notice how close it is to the house. That's the top of it. This power pole right here basically saved it from blowing into the house. So, and they actually told me that they were right upstairs looking out that window. Could you imagine having that grain bin blow over right in front of you and have that come? Now, one other quick thing. There's the semi truck that was blown over. They have that uprighted so you can see. This gives you a little perspective. Grain bin right here, just about a city block away. There's the truck that was blown over, and that truck driver is okay. He was taken, I think, to the hospital. At least he was given some temporary medical evaluation in the ambulance. But good news is nobody in this area, 2 miles northeast of Oskaloosa, Iowa, in Mahaska County, nobody was seriously injured that we know of.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Tim. They say with even severe thunderstorm warnings to head to the interiormost room, and that just goes to show that even those winds can be very dangerous.
Yep, and they were looking out the window, and you know, we're all human. We have that curiosity. We want to see what's going on. And when you get those winds, you think, geez, maybe it's a tornado. But nevertheless, they were very, very fortunate that that wasn't blowing through the window.
Well, that is great that no one was injured, and we do appreciate the ground truth on that. Again, right spot. You had the semi, tipped over. That's unfortunate. You had this grain bin tipped over as well.
All right, so Tim, what are we thinking for the rest of the afternoon, considering that now some parts, especially in Iowa, are kind of done with the storms?
Well, there's been some questions. That cold front still well off to my west. Will we clear off and will we get some redevelopment? It hasn't looked like that. We still have some clouds up above us, Monica. So we're going to have to kind of evaluate that and see. Maybe the two of you can touch on that a little better than I can. But things are quiet here in Oskaloosa, so we'll kind of reevaluate, go back to town and see what they have for damage there.
All right. Thank you very much, Tim.